Tom, I've always wanted to know, between your Venom voice or your Bane voice, which one's harder on the vocal cords?
Neither.
Really?
Yeah, well, Venom probably, actually, because he shouts more. Bane doesn't shout.
No, that's true. Bane's very collected. Have you ever had anybody try to do a Bane impression back to you?
Of course.
I'm not gonna do it now. I'm not gonna do it.
Why not?
No.
Oh, the darkness is your ally.
No,
that's great.
No, thanks. Kelly, I wanted to tell you, I'm so impressed that this is like your first time directing. I mean, it's so good, and I think you did such a good job setting up Null and how you use Null. If not Venom, who is a character that you think moving forward could potentially be an adversary for Null?
Wow. I think...
You can't go there.
You
can't go there.
I can't.
You're not allowed to go there. You're not allowed.
Not allowed.
There's 3 things that we can't talk about, and that's one of them.
Who could be an adversary for Null? Am I not allowed to say who I think it should be?
Go on,
I'll say who I think it should be.
Sure.
You know, I think that Toxin should be a great adversary for Null, as he is in the books.
Even though this is The Last Dance, I did want to bring this up to you, is that last night at Comic-Con, you did say that like one thing that could tempt you to return would possibly be Spider-Man, but which Spider-Man?
Tom Holland, without a shadow of a doubt.
That's amazing. I love that answer. And are there any other Marvel characters, though, that could pique your interest about returning, if not Spider-Man?
Well, to play them, I'd play other Marvel characters.
I just meant like as far as Venom fighting them, but...
Oh, I'd fight anyone.
Just anybody. Venom Incredible Hulk, let's do it.
Like an old timer, yeah, I'll just fight. Yeah, even him. Yeah, 100%.
Like I said, I love the movie so much. It's like, I love the Venom movies in general just because I feel like they're guilty pleasure movies. So what's a guilty pleasure movie that both of you love?
Wow. I'm trying to think of like, what do I feel guilty about being a pleasure? There's so many movies I love, but guilty pleasure, Titanic?
That's a guilty pleasure of mine too.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. Yeah, exactly the same thing. I don't know if it's guilty, and it's awkward because I'm in it. But I do sometimes like to watch Love Actually again. Just check it out. It's fun.
Yep. My wife makes me watch both of those several times a year, and I'm not mad about it. Also, Juno, since Venom reunites you with Tom Hardy from The Dark Knight Rises, I was curious, did you guys ever have a chance to catch up and sort of share memories about that on set? Or did you get to like show your Bane voice to him, like anything like that?
I have not done that yet. I'm saving that for a very opportune moment. No, but it was interesting because I actually didn't cross paths with Tom at all when I was filming The Dark Knight Rises. And I think, you know, again, it was one of those amazing experiences of getting to work with those people and Christopher Nolan. But it was short and delightful. But sneeze and you might miss me in the movie. So this time I feel like it was a real privilege to get asked by Kelly and Tom to join this universe, because it's something that they have cared about for a really long time. And the passion, you see it in the movies. You see how much he cares about Venom and Eddie and their unit as this kind of delicious duo, you know? And I think this script and exploring their friendship, and then knowing that behind the scenes, the friendship of the director and the writers, as well as being, you know, the main star of the movie, is something that I really don't take lightly. I think it's really cool to have been invited into that world and be a part of this beautiful Last Dance.
Well, with both of you having comic book movie experience, how did this experience differ from, you know, your time on Dark Knight Rises or your time, you know, with Doctor Strange?
Yeah, it's just such a different character, you know, and I think that's the main thing, you know. I think for General Strickland, you know, just how organized everything is and the kind of responsibility, how earthy it is, you know, it's all just, you know, built on on reality, you know, and on these kind of really high stakes for him. This attempt to keep in line the military part of this incredibly secret facility, and his life being so complicated in many ways by the scientific wing of that facility, you know, headed by Dr. Payne. And so they end up in this kind of conflict about what's best and the best ways to proceed with these alien life forms. And all of that, you know, just all of those dynamics were really interesting to play and fun to play with Juno.
Yeah.
And, you know, so, you know, I think that's kind of what made it very special for me.
I also want to talk about how I really like Strickland as a character, because obviously he's an antagonist, but he's not a bad guy, you know, without dipping too much into spoilers.
Yeah.
You know, and so was that dynamic something that sort of interested you about the character?
I think so. I think it's always interesting, you know, when somebody is making, you know, does things that you can think in isolation are kind of questionable, but you understand it from their point of view. And he has, you know, he's quite empathetic, you know, and he has this real connection to his group and to the team. And he feels not only that they are being endangered by everybody else, and, you know, there's a kind of, and humanity, in fact, is being endangered, but they also, you know, are getting hurt, you know, so he kind of has to sort of step up, you know, that's his role. And so it brings him into conflict with some of the other people that maybe we, you know, initially think we're going to warm to more, but actually the problems are quite subtle. I mean, they're quite sort of dynamic.
Last question for you, Chiwetel. I'm with Comic Book, so I have to ask about Mordo and see if there has been any talks at all about him possibly returning down the road soon.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. You know, that's kind of you know, a question for, it's beyond me in a way. But but you know, it's an incredible character, obviously, Mordo. So you know, I'd be excited to do more.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.